Alright guys, quick update on the 2001. Since I pulled it over here, I have been working on it. I did put the stock Explorer radiator in that I had laying around from the other project in. It does bolt directly up. Didn't have any problems at all putting it in. The only thing you will have to do is you're going to have to use the factory Ranger condenser because the Explorer one will not fit. So use a factory condenser if you want to run AC, but the stock Explorer radiator will fit right in, no problems. Even the bolt holes line up. I don't know if you can really see it, but they line up. I got one of the transmission hard lines put on. I did take out the old throttle cable, which I'm gonna have to run the Explorer throttle cable. The cruise control cable, I took that off the factory cruise control box. I'm just gonna swap the cables out so I don't have to swap the whole module. Just an easier thing in my book. You can swap the whole module or just the cable, either one. I don't think it really matters. For the battery cables that run to the starter and the AC and the alternator and all that, I'm going to attempt to use the factory 3-liter cables because they have these special connectors and stuff on them that, you know, run on the fuse box and stuff, and I kind of wanted to keep all that stuff so I wouldn't have to rig it up. So I'm going to reuse this one, and I got all the insulation and stuff off of it, and everything else will, you know, click into the AC plugs. This plug here, it all goes together just fine. So the only thing I'm gonna have to modify is the cable that goes to the starter because it is really short for the 3-liter. So I'm just gonna order a cable online that's for the 5.0 Explorers and just splice that in with this harness, and then I'm gonna loom it all back together and it'll pretty much look factory. So that's what I'm gonna try doing there because I really don't want to use the harness for my other project because it's really expensive to get harnesses and stuff. So I'm just gonna do what I can with this one, but it should all work just fine. I shouldn't have any problems with it. Let's see, what else did I do? For the fuel line, the factory hard line that does come up to the stock engine, I know it's a returnless system, and returnless means it doesn't have a line that goes back to the tank feeding fuel in because it runs off a sensor and it kicks up the fuel pump pressure whenever it needs it. Well, a return style system, basically the fuel pump's just running at a constant pressure, and there's a regulator that's on the fuel rails that releases excess pressure by, and the excess fuel that it releases goes through this line right here. So I'm gonna try to figure out how to run a line back to the tank, which it shouldn't be too hard. But the factory pressure line that comes into the fuel rail, it does connect to the line that goes into the fuel rail, so that kind of saved me some hassle there, so I don't have to run a line from the tank to the rail. So now I'm just gonna have to run a line that goes onto this one that runs back to the tank. This line right here is not a high pressure line like the other one is, so I could probably get away with running some actual like rubber fuel line all the way back, which I don't know if I really want to do that, but I think you can get away with it safely since it's not high pressure, and do it that way, or try to find the Explorer hard lines, which once again I don't really want to use the ones off my other project for this one, but I may try to get some off a different Explorer and get the hard line that runs all the way back and then just run it back to the tank that way. But I don't think it really matters either way. It's just kind of a personal preference. I like to have factory steel lines just because they're, you know, I don't have to worry about them getting a hole punctured in them or something like that. So I guess we'll see what we do there. The factory connector, it does connect straight up to the factory Ranger harness. right here. I just don't have it bolted in, so you shouldn't have any issues there. I don't know if you have to swap any pins yet on this plug, so I'll keep you updated if I find anything out on that. I don't think you do, but I could be wrong. There may be one or two I have to swap over, which if so, it's not really a super huge deal. One thing I do got to mention too, this box right here, if you want to run the factory air box, you'll have to get the Explorer one, because the hat that connects to it does not connect to the factory Ranger one. It's not going to work. And you need this top hat here because the mass airflow sensor and the housing is bigger than the factory V6 and 4-cylinder ones. So you have to have this top piece. So make sure you get the bottom piece as well. I'm gonna have to find one at Salvage Yard or something, which is, once again, it's not really a big deal, but that's just something else I have to get. So keep that in mind. There was a few vacuum hoses I ended up having to like relocate, but that wasn't really a big deal because I just found some that weren't being used. Like this one here, I know this one was just hanging here, and this one was hanging here, so I just kind of spliced them together, which it ended up working. The factory evap, this is the evap stuff. I just took off the factory Explorer evap stuff because it was all banged up and messed up anyways, and I plugged the Ranger stuff right up because it plugs in right here, and I just use this factory connector here and plug the tubing into it, which whether or not it really works whenever I have all this done and running, I have no idea. Once again, I'll find out and I'll get back to you guys on it. I'm probably going to run electric fans as well because I'm not a big fan of mechanical fans anyways, no pun intended. They rob a lot of power and stuff, but I don't really think there's really much room in here to run one anyways. I think you can if you really wanted to, but I'm not. I'm going to run a electric fan. Really, I think that's about it. Make sure whenever you run the radiator to get the Explorer overflow line, because you will need it because it's different lengths as well. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the most part. I did try to clean it up pretty good the other day because it was really nasty. I got off all the crud and stuff like that, which, I mean, it's dirty again because it's sitting under a tree, but figured I'd try to clean it up. I was told, which I don't know how true this is, that the factory drive shaft will work. It's just I'm gonna have to get a different yoke. It goes into the transmission and it should work. It's either a different yoke or a different U-joint, I can't remember. I think I have to put a different yoke in there and then swap to a different U-joint as well, but I'm not really sure. I'll try to figure that out sometime, but I'm not really worried about it right now because I really just want to get this thing running. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the most part. I'll keep you guys updated on it as I continue to work on it. And if you could, please like, subscribe, comment, ask any questions you need to, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. All right, thanks guys.